Hello, artists. Today, we're going to be making one last spooky picture for Halloween. This time, it's a ghost in the elevator. We'll be using the art elements of line, shape, and space. The space part of this picture involves 1 point perspective. So we're going to be drawing this elevator in 1 point perspective. You're going to be needing your ruler, regular pencil, eraser, skinny Sharpie, or you can also use the bigger Sharpie if you want to. So the first thing we need to do is to start our perspective in this drawing. You're going to take your ruler and you're going to measure 2 inches all the way around your sketchbook. So when you look at your ruler, here's inch 1 and inch 2. So you're going to be putting a dot where the 2 inches are. So you want to put your ruler at the edge of your paper and just make a dot there. Move it across and make another dot. You're going to be doing this all the way around your picture, the paper. Perspective is, when you're doing perspective like this, it's really important that you use your ruler. You don't want to free draw this because your lines will not be straight and it will not look like your picture is in perspective. So I've made my dots all the way around now. So I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to line it up, the 2 dots, and make a line across. Line up the 2 dots here and make a line down. Make another line across and make another line down. Now you're going to see that sometimes my lines go off a little bit. I can just erase this. This is fine. All right. So this is the back of your elevator. The next thing you want to do is to make the sides of your elevator. So you're going to take your ruler and you're going to put your ruler on the very tip of the side of the elevator down here and then have it touch the side of your paper. So you're just going to draw a line like that. And you want to do that once again all the way around. So make sure it's touching the edge of the rectangle and touching the edge of your paper all the way. All right, so now I've created the ceiling, the floor, and the 2 sides of my elevator. The next thing I need to do is make the handrail that is along the back and sides of my elevator. And I want everyone to draw that. So in order to create it, I need to draw 2 dots 3 inches, 3 inches now instead of 2, from the bottom of my rectangle. So 2 dots, 1 and 2. Now I'm going to draw a line across, but I'm not going to draw all the way across. I'm going to end it just a little bit. So I'll start here, go across, and end it. So that is the top of my rail. Then I need to make the rail on this side and this side. Once again, I'm going to put my ruler on 3 inches at the edge of the rectangle. So here's the 3, that's touching, and I'm going to make a dot. And then I'm going to move my ruler down to almost the end of this line, and I'm going to put the 3 here and another dot. When I draw the handrail here, the angle of the handrail should match the angle of the floor. So we're matching this line to this line, 2 angles that are the same. I want to come over here and do the same thing. So at the top of this line, I'm going to put a dot. And then I'm going to move it down. So there's the 3, and I'm going to put another dot. So when I draw the handrail on this side, the angle of the handrail should match the angle of the floor. Now I can go ahead and make the bottom of the handrail. So how wide you make your handrail is really up to you. So I'm going to make mine, this is about 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to make mine about that size all the way around. Now, all I have to do is add a little line here to close these off, and I have the handrails. Now, the other thing that needs to happen is that if I am looking at this in perspective, I'm actually going to see the top of this handrail. So I'm going to make another very narrow line on top, matching the angle. So I'm here, I'm just going to move it up a little bit and match the angle. And now I'm going to draw a line straight across and another line straight across, and straight across. So there's my handrail. I have to make one more edge here at the bottom. And whatever lines that you make that you don't want to keep, you can erase later. There we go. So there's my handrail in the back and on the 2 sides. Now, I need to make a light fixture at the top. Everyone should make a light fixture. So on this picture, I made 3 little spotlights that were recessed at the top of the elevator, but some elevators are very fancy. So on this elevator, I think I'm going to make a very fancy chandelier, and you can just make it any way you want. You can have any kind of a light fixture you want, but I'm going to make this one have a chandelier at the top with little shades. And to give it depth, I want to make 2 lines for each part of the chandelier. I'll clean that up when I go to use my marker. All right, so there's my chandelier for my elevator. Now, the next thing I need to make is the button console here on the side. So once again, I'm going to take my ruler, and it's just going to go up and down 2 sides. There's one side, here's the other side. Remember, I have to match the angles here. So this angle is like that. It's at quite a angle. Same thing here. Now, here's my button console. Now that I have this part of the elevator done, it's now in 1-point perspective. I need to go over the lines I'm going to keep with my Sharpie marker. I used my skinny Sharpie marker for this picture. I'm going to use my bigger Sharpie, this one, to go over these lines for you. You can also use the bigger Sharpie, that's fine. However, you still need to use your ruler to go over your lines. So put your ruler down along the pencil line you made and go ahead and draw your lines. And how you draw them, in what order you draw them, doesn't really matter. As long as you are using your ruler, it's very important to do that so that your lines are straight. We don't want a wiggly elevator. Now, here I am, and I've got this chandelier that is now overlapping the top of my elevator. So I think I'm going to just go ahead and draw my chandelier in first. And this one is behind that one. Remember, it's double lines all the way up. This one's going to come down and cross over. Here's another lampshade on the chandelier. And up. This one comes down. And then this is the last one. Now, I don't want to draw the line across here through the lampshades that I drew. So I'm just going to skip over them. So I'll start here. I've got to skip one more time and go. So there's the back And here's the ceiling. Make sure you're using your ruler. Now I've drawn all of the sides. Now I need to go back over my handrail. This part is the most technical part of your drawing the perspective, because you really do need to use your ruler and draw your lines straight. If you don't use your ruler, chances are your picture will not be in perspective. And that's the point today, is to have this elevator in one point perspective. Okay, and now I need to do this side with the ruler each time. The top. So after you finish these lines, then you have to make some decisions about what your elevator looks like. Now, this elevator is kind of modern. It's very plain. It's got some paneling here, but the bottom part is plain. And the reason why I made mine kind of plain was because I didn't want to have too many things interfering with my ghost. So here is my control panel with the buttons. Now on my control panel, I made 13 buttons on purpose. There are a lot of buildings that don't have a 13th floor, but I thought it'd be really funny to have my ghost pressing the 13th floor. How many buttons you put in your control panel is up to you, but do draw them. Okay, so here's my elevator. I might want in this particular elevator to make wallpaper because it's very fancy. I might, make paneling again. It could be wood paneling. I could make the ceiling a color. I can make the whole elevator a color if I want to. So how you design your elevator is up to you. But at this point, you want to take your eraser and you want to erase the pencil lines that you're not going to keep. That'll clean up your picture. All right. Now, the last part of your picture is your ghost. Now, what your ghost looks like is really up to you. When I made this ghost, I made it kind of a classic ghost in a sheet shape, but I decided that I wanted to make it a little bit scarier, so I made it transparent so you could see a little bit of the skeleton underneath and maybe the skull, and I made the mouth look really big like the character in Scream. So that's up to you as to how you want to make your ghost. Your ghost can be friendly. Your ghost can look like a person. Your ghost can be spooky or look like it's just about to jump out at somebody when you open the elevator door. So how you make your ghost is up to you. So I'm just going to right now make a really quick ghost. I'm not going to make it very fancy, just so that you get the general idea. And this time I think I'm going to make this ghost look like it's about to jump out at somebody. So I'm just going to draw with my pencil. Your ghost is going to be completely in pencil because you want it to have kind of a transparent look to it. When you draw your ghost, it's going to look different from mine because it's your ghost. Now, your ghost needs to have a face, and how you design that face is really up to you, but it needs to have eyes and it needs to have some kind of a nose, even if it's just kind of a hole. That's fine for a ghost, and it needs to have a mouth. This one's going to have a really big mouth, and even though it's a ghost, I think I'm going to make some teeth. You can do yours any way you want. Once you've got your face drawn, then you need to take your pencil and color your ghost in lightly with your pencil. So you're just going to put that everywhere except for maybe the places that are going to be the face. You can do that later. That'll be darker probably. And you should be able to see the back of the elevator, the handrail through the ghost body. Now, if you color your handrail, you want to do that first so that when you put the pencil on top of it, it kind of makes it lighter or you can't see the color as well. So after you've colored your ghost in initially, you can take your finger or you can take a piece of tissue or paper towel, and I want you to rub it in so that the lines kind of disappear a little bit, so it's more gray. And I think it's really okay to go outside the line and have a little bit of that gray on the outside of your ghost. It makes your ghost look a little misty. So we want to do that. Now you're going to go back and add the details. So I'm going to make the eyes a lot darker. You can, put eyeballs in there if you want to. I'm going to make the nose a lot darker. And I'm going to make the mouth a lot darker. Okay, so now you can see my ghost face a little bit better. Now I can also add extra details to my ghost. It's very light right now, so I'm going to just add some more shading. I might try to make it look like it's got more of a face shape. Even though the mouth is really big, I'm making kind of a chin underneath it. Maybe have a little shading under the arms. Come down, make a foot shape. So you want to add a little bit more detail to your ghost so it's not totally just faded away. And then once you do that, you can take your finger again and just kind of soften those lines. I think for a last detail, I'm going to make some really vicious kind of fingernails on my ghost. That would be scary, having something like that jump out at you. It's okay to be scary. It's Halloween. Yeah, scary ghost hands. Okay, so once you're finished with your picture, take a look and see if you can add anything more to it. Like if I were really going to finish this off, I would probably make this a gold color as if it were made out of brass and maybe make these red. I would probably make this a color too so that it really comes through my ghost like it does on here. So it makes my ghost look even more invisible. So you can do your floor, same thing. So add just a little bit of color to your elevator so it's not totally black and white. Have fun with this project, The Ghost in the Elevator. I look forward to seeing your finished creations. That's it for today. Bye, artist.